Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. It's Monday. Stock market's back open. And guess what? I got good news. It's soaring. New record high. Stock market only goes up. Now look, we're at August 30th today. September is just around the corner. And the market is just surging. Higher and higher and higher. Is it going to continue forever? Well, Janet Yellen, she'll tell you it's going to go on forever. She's saying there's never going to be a market crash again in our lifetime. She says we can just print the money to make the market go up. Is this the way it's going to continue? Well, actually, I think the Fed's in a little bit of trouble here. Here's what I think the Federal Reserve has. They have two choices. Number one, they can crash the stock market. Now, nobody wants to see the stock market crash. Okay, so number two, they can crash the dollar. Now, nobody wants to see the dollar crash. Do you want to lose purchasing power? No, I don't think you want to lose purchasing power, but nobody notices when the dollar's crashing as much as they notice when the stock market is crashing. Stock market drops 50%, you're going to notice it. But you see, when they crash the dollar, they do it a little bit at a time. Right now, it's called, crashing the dollar means inflation. It means the dollar doesn't buy as much as it used to buy. Now, right now, I say that inflation's running about 15%. Now, the Federal Reserve, they'll even admit that it's running at 5%, but I think it's closer to 15. Now, you do 15% for 3 years, you're at 45%. That's like 50%. 50% of your purchasing power gone, but I think it's accelerating. Now, the Federal Reserve will tell you that it's transitory. This is going away. It's going to go away. Well, there's no sign it's going away. Matter of fact, I think it's picking up steam. Everything I buy seems to be going up. I don't see it going away. I don't see it slowing down. I see it going faster and faster. Now, here's the thing. Inflation starts off slow, and then it just goes straight up. I'm telling you, this is not a good problem. Now, what do I think the Fed's going to do? This is kind of a deflation-inflation scenario. All right now we're going with inflation, right? And they're going to print till the dollar just gets obliterated. It's just going to be destroyed. They're just going to keep printing, right? But there's going to be this moment. This moment is going to come, and the Federal Reserve is going to go, oh, crap. This is not temporary. This is not transitory. Inflation is taking off like a rocket ship. Now, what's going to be the sign that they get? What's going to make them think like this? Maybe it's when gasoline hits $10 a gallon. Maybe it's when a loaf of bread hits $20. There's going to come a point where they're going to go, oh no, we screwed up so bad. We got to try and fix this. And that's when they're going to start to raise interest rates. They're going to stop printing the money. They're going to try to reverse course, but it'll be too late by then. So what's going to happen then is everything crashes. But right now, the Federal Reserve has in their mind that they can just print money forever without doing any harm. Well, I'm telling you, they're doing harm. They're doing a lot of harm. Inflation's that tax. Biden, he's going to tell you he's not going to tax anyone that makes less than $400 billion. I got news for you. It's raising everybody's taxes by 10, 15%. Just in inflation, it is a tax. It's not going away. Now, the Federal Reserve, they keep talking, well, we're going to start tapering. Now, what does tapering mean, really? Okay, right now we print $120 billion a month. Now, that's a minimum figure. It's not the most they print. If they get in trouble, they see the stock market going down, they'll print more money. But the minimum they print is $120 billion a month. Now, where do they get that money from? Well, who's responsible for it, I should say? When they print the money, who's responsible? Who pays for it? Well, it's me and you. We pay for it. It's our money. It's not their money. It's our money. When they print money, we're responsible for that. We got to pay for it. We got to pay it back. Okay, so we have this thing called the reserve currency in the United States. The United States has held this reserve currency for the last 100 years. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means we can print the money and other people around the world will keep using our money to buy goods and services. Okay, so they need dollars. Well, now, the reserve currency has never gone into hyperinflation. This could be the first because no government's ever been stupid enough to print this much money to make it go into hyperinflation. So it could go into hyperinflation, but what could happen? We could lose the reserve currency. Reserve currency, historically, they don't go much beyond 100 years, and we've gone beyond 100 years, and we've overstayed our welcome. The rest of the world is getting tired of our reserve currency. They want to replace it with something. Now, a lot of people, Bitcoin, let's replace it with Bitcoin. I'm telling you, Bitcoin's not going to become the reserve currency. A lot of people think it will. It's not. No chance, no way, no how. Why? Well, number one, the United States still has the military. They got guns. They will outlaw it. Okay, they will do anything they can to keep their reserve currency, but sometimes the reserve currency just drifts away. Okay, what if China backed the yuan with gold? What if another country backed it with gold? I don't know what's going to happen. Look, the dollar is going to go away at some point. People are just going to lose confidence in it. It has to go away. There's no way the dollar survives this. It cannot. Okay, so they're going to keep printing the money, but the dollar gets less and less significant. Something's going to break. Maybe we switch to a digital currency. Maybe that will be the Great Reset. They talk about the Great Reset all the time. It's going to happen because of the dollar, and people just lose confidence in it. But what confidence would they have in that digital currency? I don't think they're going to have that much confidence in it. Now, maybe they attach the digital currency to a gold standard again. You see, in the United States, we cannot fix the problems until we fix money. Now, a lot of people say, I just report the negative. I'm too negative. I go to a party and talk about this stuff. People don't want to hear about their dollar crashing. People don't want to hear about the stock market's going to crash. People don't want to talk about houses are going to be cut by 50%. They want to hear good news. Well, the good news is that if you fix the money in the United States, you can fix some of our other problems. But until you fix the money, until you go back to sound money, you're not going to be able to fix the other problems. Now, do you want bigger government? Do we need bigger government? Do we want smaller government? Okay, now personally, I am for a much, much smaller government. Our government is out of control. I want to spend my own money. I don't want to give it to them and have them spend it for me. I want to spend my own money. So I want the government to shrink. I want a smaller government. How do we get that? We get that with sound money. Okay, now do you like war or do you like peace? Peace or war? Okay, look at Afghanistan, for example. We had sound money. That would have never happened. We spent $2.3 trillion to finance that war. Wars go away when you have sound money because you cannot finance the war. You have to actually pay for the war. But with fiat money, you can print as much as you want, and you can have war. You can have this big government. The government is going to pay you all the money in the world. They're going to pay for your child care. They're going to pay for your kids' college education. They're going to pay for your health care. We're going strictly socialism. I'm telling you, the government can do it with fiat money. Can they go socialism if we have sound money, something that's backed by gold? No, they cannot. It's too hard. Look at when they send you out a stimulus check, they send you a stimulus check for $2,000, right? Okay, it's easy for them. They just run that printing press and print up all those dollars to send you. When they send you a 1-ounce gold piece, no, they can't do it. They'd run out of gold. They cannot do it. If you get back to sound money, you can correct a lot of the problems in the United States. But until we get back to sound money, we're going to have these idiots in Washington running the show, and they just spend the money like crazy. Now, where does that money come from? Well, it's got to be supported by small business by the GDP. Look at the gross domestic product right now is almost 50% by the government, 50% by government expenditures into the GDP. Now, the private sector, they have to pay for the government sector. See, the government sector works for the private sector. Now, right now, it looks the other way around. It looks like the private sector works for the government. And that's what has happened in the U.S. That's where our problem comes from. I'm telling you, we can fix these problems if we get back to sound money. But nobody wants to get back to sound money. They just don't want to do it. Why? Because it's too painful. Because the stock market would come down. Because people would figure out what a house is really worth. They'd figure it out. Look at what's going on in houses right now. Look, you got BlackRock borrowing money from the Federal Reserve for 1%. They buy every house they can get their hand on because they know they can make a 4% return on the rent. So they get 1% money, they bring in 4% on the rent. They get to keep the 3%. Now, does that make them smart? Does that make them geniuses? No, they're destroying the U.S. with this. They're destroying. It's called the Cantillon effect. The ones closest to the government get the money. BlackRock is very close to the government. They get the money at 1%. And they go and they buy the houses, the house that you and me are competing for. They buy it with cash because they get it from the government. And then they rent it back to you at 4% return on their money. Okay, so that's called the Cantillon effect. They get all the profit. You are the one paying for it. This has got to stop in the U.S. How do you stop it? You go back to sound money. You go attach the money to gold and silver. Somehow we have to get back to a responsible system of fiscal. We can't just go fiscal stimulus. Look at $3.5 trillion in this new infrastructure plan. It's just ridiculous. Look at, okay, here's some of the things that are in the infrastructure plan. Now they call it infrastructure, but really 2 years of free college for everybody, paid family leave, okay, federal support for child care, elder care, expanded Medicare for all, clean energy. Where's the infrastructure? It's not an infrastructure package. It's a socialism package. And this stuff has got to stop. Now, I know that I went on a little bit of a rant today, but okay. So what am I looking at the markets? I want to get in on the short side, but not yet. Man, it just keeps kicking my butt every time I try to short it. There's going to come a time, though. There's going to come a time where the markets are going to come back in. They're going to come in. I'm telling you, will it be September? Originally, I thought it was, but we're just printing too much money right now. We're just printing money and we're having a crack-up boom. Maybe September we come in. Maybe. I'm hopeful, but man, it just wants to go higher and higher right now. I'm a little scared to short it. I'm going to short it, and I'm going to short it big, but not yet. I'll let you know when I do it. Anyways, if you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. If you really like it, punch that subscribe button. I'm Tall Mike. Get out there. Have a great Monday, everybody. We'll talk again later in the week. Bye-bye now.